I didn't have field trip buddies. I had tar guards, and my tar guards sucked. I was left in a whole bunch of different places because my tar guards would lose track of me. My favorite, I was left at a Renaissance fair once and was thankfully rescued right before being stoned to death. There are other good things about growing up with a disability too. For example, Dateline NBC, no kid with disabilities end up on the milk cartons. No kid with disabilities ever end up kidnapped because kidnappers are just roaming around neighborhoods and they're like, yeah, little Johnny over there, he can shoot hoops like a pro. Little Susie learned to ride a two-wheeler at age 4. And Elizabeth is over there petting grass and looks like she has meds. So let's just drive past. My parents never had to tell me look both ways before I crossed the street either because I can't. My dad was like the world's worst wingman growing up. I'd go to school dances and he would introduce me to boys. And he'd be like, this is my daughter, Mary Elizabeth. She's not much of a looker, which is a great way to both bring up my disability and insult my appearance. So good on you, Dad. Good on you. I was in middle school when I first realized how to use my disability as a monopoly. I'm at a school dance, and this basic ass farm boy comes up to me and he goes, hey, your dad just paid me $20 to stand here and not look repulsed by you for 5 minutes. And so I cornered my dad after the dance, and instead of getting mad at him, I'm like, listen here, John, we have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity. I want to cut the middleman out. So from now on, whenever you're at these events and you feel sorry for me, I want you to add $10. I'm leaving these dances $300, $400 in the bank. It was great. My parents had wildly different insight about how to raise a disabled kid. My dad is like the close your eyes, pay enough money, and hope for the best. And my mom is all about trying to get me in, lean all the way in. So for example, field day, 3rd grade, I come in last every single event. And of course my dad is just deeply ashamed. He's deeply ashamed, my sperm did that. I'm last place here. And my mom's like, well, John, we could just sign her up for the Special Olympics. And my dad goes, Angie, is it not embarrassing enough to have her come in last place to the normal kids? You want her to come in last place there too? But then my mom was all about getting me into activities, but not just any activities. It had to be the special activities. So for example, when I was about 5, I go up to my mom and I'm like, hey Mom, can I go horseback riding? And she goes, of course you can, honey. My friend owns a stable with horses that give rides to special children just like you. I'm like, Mom, God damn it, I don't want to ride the special needs horses. I want to ride the regular horses. She kept offering those special needs horses at every event in my life. I get ditched at prom. She goes, it's okay, honey, we can go ride the special needs horses. I don't want to ride the special needs horses, Mom. I am a dangerous disabled person. Let me explain. I am disabled enough where it is abundantly clear I am disabled, but I'm also smart enough to where I can be a manipulative son of a bitch. So, a couple of stories on that. So growing up in an upper middle class home with a disability is the greatest thing of all time, because every year is a Make-A-Wish year. we'd be sitting around the table and we would be like talking about where we want to go for vacation. And every year, like clockwork, my little sister goes, well, I want to go camping. And then it'd get to me, I'm like, Emily, it is adorable that you think you have a say in this. You see, I've only got about 35 years of guaranteed sight in me. And so I've got a list of things I want to see before I'm engulfed in total pitch darkness. And unfortunately, deer shit is not on the list. So let me make this perfectly clear. We're not going camping. We're never going camping. Get camping out of your mind. Camping doesn't exist. We're doing what I want to do. So anyway, here's where we're actually going for vacation. She got back at me though. She got back at me because where I wanted to go more than anywhere on earth was New York City. Because I'm a lover of theater, I love the arts, I love all of that. And so we have to pick a family-friendly Broadway show. And so of course, it's Lion King. So we're sitting there and Emily decides, I'm gonna troll this bitch for 2 hours and 40 minutes nonstop. So it's happening. She's sitting in an aisle and she's just slapping me. She's like, Elizabeth, it's an elephant. It's a real elephant coming down. Oh my gosh, do I feel sorry for the loser who can't see all of this majesty, all of this glory in its full potential. But my favorite story about being a manipulative disabled actually comes from my time as a Southern Illinois comedian. So, for a long time after I started doing comedy, I was kind of thought of as the innocent one. You know, oh, she's cute, she's got a trust fund, she's so sweet and innocent. And so, because this is comedians, they're like, we gotta corrupt her now. And so it's just taking a poll of who can corrupt me first. And the gold standard of my corruption is smoking weed, which does not sound very corruptible, probably to a lot of you, because it's legal here. But I grew up in the Bible Belt where Reefer Madness was shown in Sunday school. So, yeah, very corruptible, very corruptible. And so, the greatest weed person in all of Southern Illinois comedy is a guy named Coach. And Coach is great. I love Coach. Coach is a good friend of mine. But anyway, they're like, well, we've got to get her some of that good shit. And Coach has the best shit around. So we got to get her some weed from Coach. And so it was almost like a pay-per-view event. There were like 30 people just around just to see the innocent Elizabeth Hamilton hit up her first weed. And so we're all crowded in Coach's delightful apartment. And beforehand, I'm like, okay, I don't want any cameras. I don't want any video. I'm a graduate student. I don't need my father to come and find out his baby girl is smoking the devil's lettuce. And so anyway, I take a hit, and underwhelming, I must say. Underwhelming. I was kind of expecting to be able to like smell colors and shit, but no, instead I just had a little bit of a cough. But anyway, next morning, it's got to be 7:30 in the morning, and I get a call from Coach, and Coach is freaking. Coach goes, Elizabeth, you got to listen to me. My boss is going to call you in like 10 minutes. It ended up online, and they think that you are a retard who could not give consent, and you got to tell them, Elizabeth, that it was that you consented to it. Which I did. I did very much consent to it. But I gotta be honest, y'all, for a brief minute, the thought crossed my mind. I can ruin this guy's entire life with one word. One word. All I've got to do is when they call me, all I got to do is answer the phone, Elizabeth, and his life is over. And that's a level of power, y'all, that I just immediately decided, no, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. No, that there is a time and a place to use that power, and it is on our parents' deathbed so that Emily has to wait on me hand and foot the rest of our lives. So instead I answered the phone, Hi, this is Elizabeth Hamilton, doctoral candidate at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. How may I help you? Are you the same Elizabeth Hamilton in the video? Yes, I do believe that is me. You know Coach, right? Ah, yes, Coach and I, we're the best of chums. And you wanted to smoke the devil's lettuce. Yes, indeed, I absolutely did. You've seen Reaper Madness. My dear, I know Reaper Madness. I have already punched my ticket to hell. It is waiting for me. I'm going to go have a party with all the gay people when I die. Have a delightful rest of your day. Yeah, that is what being a manipulative disabled person is like. Dating when you're disabled. Oh, that's a treat. That's a real treat. Because just like with any other minority group, when you are outwardly disabled, everybody who knows somebody that is disabled is like, hey, you two, you have so much in common. And some of these guys, let me just tell you, I answer to them, I'm like, look, I may not be able to see, but I still have taste. Some standouts include this depressed guy with cerebral palsy. I dated him, and he was a real self-loathing type of guy. He was constantly, and you're gonna break up with me, and I don't deserve you, and I'm not worthy. And I'm like, look, the only reason I'm breaking up with you is if you hit me, and even then, dude, I'll just go up the stairs. Then I dated a guy with autism, and it's that strand of autism where you're just outwardly a douchebag, but you're like, I'm autistic, you can't do anything about it. And the moment I knew he and I weren't going to work, for our 2-year anniversary, he took me bird watching. Let me say that again. He took his legally blind girlfriend bird watching. A very boring activity for those without sight, I have to say. Right up there with flying a kite. You know, there's nothing to say we can't do it, but it's really boring to just hold a string. And so the whole time he's like, Elizabeth, it's a white rump swallow. Isn't it beautiful? And I go, I can't see it. And just like our future together, I don't think I'll ever be able to see it. The guy I'm dating right now, though, Richard, he's a real treat, and there's nothing wrong with him that we can tell you. But yeah, he's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart, and he's even cool with one of my great platforms in life. And one of my great platforms is Make-A-Wish, but X-rated. Because, as I've kind of alluded to, my sight, I can still see a little bit, but that is not guaranteed to always be the case. So I've got this image in my mind, because I'm still a virgin. I've got this image in my mind. The V card is definitely going before the vision. I'm going to be able to see the great sexual exploit. And with X-rated Make-A-Wish, I want not only a great sexual exploit, I want the greatest. I want a orgy of the sexiest men alive, smothered in peanut butter, because I'm a freak. Although some of my celebrity crushes, it's really hard because I can't see very well, and it's really apparent. For example, I had watched the children's TV show Bluey for over a year before I realized that the dad was in fact a talking dog. But let's still make one thing effing clear. Bandit Healer, Bluey's dad, can absolutely get it. He can get it. A man who is always emotionally available for his wife and children. Yeah, Bandit can do me however the fuck he wants.
I love Bluey.
No shame, none. And actually, because I've told this joke before, and I know some of my comedy friends are just dying to know, I met the voice actor for Bandit at a Comic-Con. And can I just say, everything I've ever said about fucking that guy 8 Ways to Sunday still 100% true. He can still absolutely fucking get it. He absolutely can. Let's see. What else? Oh man, I'm not used to these 30-minute sets. I'm used to 5-minute sets, and normally they have this clock in the back that like flashes, but I can't see it. So when I run short on time, they're like shining that sucker right in my eyes, and they're like, "Bitch, we're one step away from smacking you. Get off." So yeah, but surely I can pull up more. Oh, here's one. It is really hard to be disabled and also depressed, because I'm